Welcome back everybody to this garden room job here. I'm just going to show you a very quick update with the floor. So I've prepped the floor now to take the Alpha Click floor, which is sat in that room over there. So what we've had to do is get a specific flooring ply. So this stuff is 6mm thick, and we've had to screw the boards every 4 inches, guys, okay? So you can see all the grids that I've made on the ply. So you have to fix them technically it's 4 inches around the perimeter and then 6 inches in between, but I just went 4 and 4 because it was just so much easier just to mark all the boards out. So there's 8 sheets here in total, so you can imagine how many screws there are. So it's about 2,500 screws throughout the entire floor, which is a hell of a lot. But now we've got the floor super flat. Just show you the level. So it's lovely and flat there now. There's some tiny little bumps in the floor, but you know you're working with timber and stuff all the time, guys, okay? So you can do what's called a latex over the top, but you never get the latex dead flat anyway. There's always going to be some form of a little bump in the floor, so you just have to make good with what you got. At the end of the day, this whole project is made out of timber, and like I keep saying, timber is never straight. It's not like a steel or piece of concrete which has been man-formed. It is literally a living thing, guys, so you just got to work with it. So now what I'm going to do is get the first run in, put the underlay down first. I'll probably set up the tripod so you can see the step-by-step process of how I'm going to do it. And then I'll start getting the first board down. So the boards are going to run, the customer has decided, from the door straight up here, all the way through. So even when it goes through into the bedroom, it's just going to continue along this way. There's going to be no break in the floor at all. And then I've just finished the ply up to the back end of where this door frame is going to go. So once the door lining goes in there, it finishes lovely and straight with that. Okay, so we're just going to get cracking now, get the floor down, which is probably going to take me a couple of days, and like I say, I'm doing it all by myself, so yeah, it's really nice to see it coming along. So all right guys, I'll go get everything set up, I'll get the camera set up, and then we'll get cracking. Fitting the underlay now, so I've gone along, hoovered up any dust that's on the floor, because that will stop any undulation in the floor. It won't let this underlay not stick to the floor, but stay flat to the floor. So this is a specific one used from Quickstep, okay guys, because I'm using a Quickstep floor. Right. It tells you its value and all that sort of stuff on there. So it's reflective walking sound. The impact sound is 19 decibels. You've got leveling, so it just helps get over any undulation in the floor. And it's also a cooler, and it also warms up the floor a little bit as well. Okay, so it's nice and warm underfoot. So what I'm going to do is just get the underlay. Go up nice and tight. All right. You might not be able to see me on the camera, but let's go about 10mm there. Just cut that out. Okay, that should just allow for that to go right up against the frame. Just one like that. And now we can roll this out. Any bumps in the floor, anything in this floor, guys, this underlay will feel it. So if there's any risen bits in your floor, you need to deal with it before you start laying the floor. Alright, there we next thing we've got to do is get the first run lovely and straight. So it's the same principle as when I was doing the chipboard floor. I'm going to have the tongue facing out, which is there, and the groove like so. And the next one will just lift up and click in place. If you want to, you can just have a little look at the instructions and see what they say. So it says if you've got anything like a 5mm bump, then you have to latex it with something like a hard X, something like that. I've laid them exactly. And it also says the joins cannot be within 30 centimetres, so 300mm between each join, guys, okay? So, what we've got to make sure is that when we start the next run, there's not a 30 centimetre between this join here, so it has to be either 30 centimetres or more. Alright? And get some packers. Just want to make sure that the first run is lovely and straight. Okay, so what you can do is just get a straight edge, run it up against your join and just make sure that there's no gaps along the run of your board. So with this floor, this Alpha Click floor, you can just flip it up and look at the instructions. So if I was to take these planks out, it's got a step-to-step guide of how to lay the floor. So it's got all your instructions down here, guys, okay? So it says no more than 30 centimetres for the joins, okay? And then also, if there's any bumps in the floor within 5mm, you've got to use either a latex or some sort of self-leveling compound to get over that undulation. Okay guys, and then you just got to have a nice 10mm border, check all your joins as you're going through, just with a straight edge, see if everything's running parallel to all your joints, so they don't get binded up and you have to try and tap them in, because otherwise it just goes completely haywire then, and your floor will not fit nice and snug. Alright guys, so I'll put the first row in a little bit in, just to show you. Now it's just a matter of running the boards through, cutting them, and just keep going until the floor's done, and the floor's going to go all the way through this way. Okay, so there's going to be no breaks in the floor, no change in direction, just all the way through. Okay guys, so now it's just a matter of getting the next one down. Board down, just make sure that's running through nice and straight, nothing's coming out square or out parallel, especially along the joins, and that's perfect. absolutely spot on. So we're literally just finishing off the quickstep floor here through here now. So we're coming through into the bedroom, which means we've got that doorway to get over. So the way that I've done it, and this is the way you should do it. Now, normally what I would do, if I'm following through with flooring, I would wait until the floor's gone through and then put my door linings in. All right, but sometimes you cannot wait. Like, for instance, we had to get the tiles done in here and the bathroom fully fitted. So what I've had to do is just extend this right down to the floor, okay? And then once I've got my levels all perfect, I then get a piece of underlay, okay? So the piece of underlay, like that, and then turn a piece of board upside down, and then use a multi-tool just to multi-tool it out, and then you can slide your piece of floor up inside there, guys, okay? So it finishes, you've got a nice little 1 mil gap there, because the blades on your multi-tools are like between 1 to 2 mil thick. So it just leaves a nice little joint through there. And then what you got to make sure is that you've got enough covering underneath your lining. So when your architrave goes on, and generally speaking, it's between 7 to 10 millimeters, okay, for your margins. So there's my margin there. You can imagine the architrave's coming through, but the architrave is going to be 18 mil thick, so it will cover all of that lot there. But you can see the flooring continues through there, and that's what you want, guys, okay? What you don't want is, let's say, if there's a gap through here, and then you put your architrave down, it covers that bit, but then it doesn't cover that little 7 mil gap. You don't want that, okay? So that's why I've done the same here. It will slide up underneath. What I have to do is, because the joins are connecting on from this way, I'm going to have to get both the boards in all at the same time and then slide it up through and work my way back, and then I can start a new run fresh. Because there's no way to do it, guys. Otherwise, I'd have to take the door frame out to be able to do it, and I'm not doing that because it's all wedged, it's foam filled. You don't want to do any of that. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we will get it in there, okay? All right. So now what I'm going to do now is just roll out the underlay through here over the ply that's been fitted all the way through, and then it's just a matter of fitting the last few boards, and that is it, guys, okay? But otherwise it's looking absolutely awesome. Look at it, all the way through. I couldn't be more pleased with it. The only bit I was a little bit upset about was I was away when this all got fitted, so all the power, this cupboard, I really wanted it finished and painted, because there you've got little damages here on the plasterboard through there. I know it's not going to be seen until you open the door, but it's just principle, guys. You just want it all fully finished, and then I could have just continued my floor through there. But in some respect, it's a good thing, because if I ever get any water leaks or anything wrong in there, I won't be able to take up the floor in that area, because everything's going to be sat down on top of it. So in one respect, it's a good thing, but another thing, you see the original chipboard floor through there, which I don't quite like. But otherwise, I've got a nice neat 4 mil margin all the way around the cylinder, and then when the door lining goes in, that will get covered, the architrave will cover that, and the architrave skirting will cover that, your margin there, so you won't see any gaps, anything like that through there. And then when you close the door, all you'll see is flooring underneath there. You won't be able to get your head underneath the gap underneath the door to see all this gubbins, all that sort of stuff there, guys. All right, but otherwise it's perfect. Really pleased with it. It's gone down so quick, and honestly, anyone can fit this floor. You don't have to be a certified floor layer. Generally speaking, floor layers give a guarantee on all their floors, because they've got all the certificates, courses, all that sort of stuff, guys. But otherwise, if you're just a home DIY, you could do this all yourself. All right. Okay. Well, we'll get that little bit done, and then I'll probably do a little time-lapse video just to finish off the rest of the floor, and that's it. We're done with the floor. And then it's door linings, doors, skirtings, architraves, and then it's just down to the decorator to finish painting it, and we are done internally.